हरिः ओम् नमः सर्वेभ्यः। अद्य कृदन्तप्रकरणस्य शतोत्तरः नवत्रिंशः पाठः। अस्मिन् वर्गे णमुल् प्रत्ययस्य अध्ययनं समापयामः। येनाक्षरसमाम्नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयं नमस्कृत्य तदुक्तिः परिभाव्य च वैयाकरणसिद्धान्तकौमुदीयं विरच्यते। So just a quick note in the beginning, I was unable to log in onto the webinar. Somehow I have managed, but during the whole class, if there is some audio problem, video problem, screen appears to be frozen or anything like that, please send me a message quickly so that I can understand that some problem is going on over here. For now, at least the things seem to be working as normal. So पूर्वस्मिन् वर्गे अस्माभिः धातुसम्बन्धिनः प्रत्ययाः इत्यत्र केवलं णमुल् प्रत्ययः विभक्त्यन्ते उपपदे यत्र विधीयते तादृशानि सर्वाणि सूत्राणि दृष्टानि। अस्य तितृशो क्रियान्तरे कालेषु नाम्न्यादेशि ग्रहोः इति सर्वाणि सूत्राणि पूर्वस्मिन् वर्गे अधीतानि। अद्य अग्रे गच्छामः। अद्यतनवर्गे अवशिष्टानि सूत्राणि केवलं 6 सूत्राणि एव सन्ति। अव्यये यथाभिप्रेताख्याने क्रियत्वाणमुलौ तीर्यच्चपवर्गे स्वाङ्गे तस्प्रत्यये कृभ्वोः नाधार्थप्रत्यये च्व्यर्थे तूष्णीमि भुवः अन्वच्चानुलोम्ये इति सर्वाणि सूत्राणि अद्यतनवर्गे पठामः। परन्तु तस्मात् पूर्वं प्रारम्भे अस्माभिः एकं सूत्रं त्यक्तं कर्मण्याक्रोशे कृञखमुए इति सूत्रम् आदौ दृष्ट्वा तदनन्तरं णमुल् प्रत्ययस्य अध्ययनम् अनुवर्तयिष्यामः। अतः तत्र प्रथमं सूत्रम् अद्यतनवर्गस्य कर्मण्याक्रोशे कृञखमुए. All the sutras in today's class are extremely easy. We just need to understand the specific context in which these sutras are applied. So कर्मण्याक्रोशे कृञखमुय इत्यनेन सूत्रेण खमुइ इति प्रत्ययः विधीयते। एकः एव धातुः क्रू धातोः खमुइ प्रत्ययः विधीयते। कदा विधीयते इति चेत् कर्मणि उपपदम् अस्ति। यत्र कर्मणि उपपदम् अस्ति, कर्मसंज्ञक उपपदम् अस्ति, तत्र क्रू धातोः खमुइ प्रत्ययः भवति आक्रोशे गम्यमाने। सो काशिका सेज कर्मणि उपपदे क्रियः धातोः खमुइ प्रत्ययः भवति आक्रोशे गम्यमाने। What is आक्रोशे गम्यमाने? Shouting loudly so as to show a disagreement or so as to insult or so as to show an insult, so as to shout at somebody. This kind of behavior is called akrosha. So akroshe gamyamane. Typically in a debate, for example, in a heated debate or something, one person's become very angry and he shouts at another person, you are a thief, you are a donkey, you are an idiot. Even Hindi bhashayam, gadhe ho, ullu ho, these kind of things. Now you don't really mean that the other person is a thief or other person is a donkey and so on, but these kind of statements where cru verb is used are in the boundary of this current sutram. So example also, choraha asi dasyuhu asi iti akroshati. He's not actually looking at a thief and shouting that you are a thief, but probably he's in some kind of debate when there is a specific context over there, or it might be somebody who is carrying something and he thinks that it is a thief and he shouts at him saying, hey, you are a thief, or you are, say, a donkey, you are an idiot, or something like that. So tatra choram iti upapadam choram karoti iti prayogah kriyate. Choram karoti means I am trying to tag him as he is a thief. So choram karoti akroshena iti atra arthaha. Then chora is a dvitiyanta upapadam, kru is the dhatu, we get a khamui pratyaya, and chorankaram iti prayogah siddhyati. So achoram sambodhaitum choram karoti, or if you even break it further, choraha iti akrosham karoti. Either way is possible because the sutra says karmani. We want to use a dvitiya vibhakti and therefore we can say choram karoti. सो अचोरं संबोधयितुं चोरं चोरः इति आक्रोशं करोति, नो चेत् चोरं करोति। प्रक्रिया अत्र लिखिता अस्ति। खमुए प्रत्यये खकारः, तस्य प्रयोजनं मुमागमः, अरुर्द्विषदजन्तस्य मुम् इत्यनेन चोरङ्कारम् इति रूपं सिद्ध्यति। सो चोरङ्कारम् आक्रोशति। चोरः असि, दस्युः असि इति आक्रोशति। चोरकरणम् आक्रोश सम्पादनार्थम् एव. It is only a matter of shouting, losing your temper and shouting. न तु असौ चोरः क्रियते. You are not certifying the fact that he is a thief, or you are not asserting the fact that he is a thief. It is just a figure of speech, or it is just a style of speaking. So कर्मणि उपप्रदे आक्रोशे गम्ये क्रूधातोः खमयि प्रत्ययः भवति। चौरङ्कारम् आक्रोशति, करोति इति उच्चारणे. So this is important. He is just speaking that you are a thief. चोर शब्दम् उच्चारयति और उच्चार्य आक्रोशति इति अर्थः. So a simple figure of speech like you are an idiot or you're a thief, which might be used in a heated argument, or it can also be used when you have a misunderstanding about somebody. Those can be in the domain of this particular sutram, karmanya kroshe kroe khamoe. So as I mentioned, this was a very simple sutram. We just somehow did not talk about it because we didn't have time at that particular class. So somebody is asking, what is the exact meaning of natu asau choraha kriyate? The meaning of this word is that you are not attesting, or you are not declaring, or you are not certifying that he is a thief. So for example, if you are a judge and if you are looking at the case and then you are giving a decision that no, in this case you are a thief, so you are actually making him a thief, or you are actually on paper putting him as a thief. So that is called choraha kriyate. This is not the context over here. It is not a fact assertion is what this line means. You are not actually telling that a person is a thief or a person is a donkey or an idiot. It is not a fact assertion. It is an akrosha. It is shouting. It is expressing one's own emotions. This is the context over here. So that was about the khamui pratyaya. Let's come back on the line for the namul pratyaya. We have a bunch of sutras towards the end. But before we look at these sutras, I want to talk about the prakriya of the namul pratyaya. There is a question on the previous slide. Why some Kaumudi says chauram karam? I think this would be a typing mistake. Or you can have chora and chaura, as both words are seen used to indicate a thief. So it can be either chauram or it can be choram. And I mean, if the question is like why there is a chaura over here and chora over here, one of them is definitely a typing mistake. It should be just choram karam for simplicity. अग्रे गच्छामः. इदानीं णमुल् प्रत्ययस्य प्रक्रियायाः किञ्चित् विस्तरेण अध्ययनं कुर्मः. मया पूर्वम् एतत् सर्वं पाठितमस्ति, परन्तु तत्र एकवारं पुनरेकवारम् अन्तिमवारं वा पश्यामः. तत्र णमुल् प्रत्ययस्य प्रक्रियायां कोऽपि विशेषं कार्यं न भवति, विशिष्टं कार्यं न वर्तते. तत्र णमुल् प्रत्ययस्य सदृशी एव प्रक्रिया. णमुल् प्रत्ययान्तरूपस्य अन्ते क इति विद्यते, तस्य स्थाने अम इति करणीयम्. सो म इति लेखनीयम्. सो पाचक क इत्यस्य स्थाने म इति लिखामः. तदनन्तरम् आभीक्ष्ण्यम् अस्ति चेत् द्वित्वं क्रियते, आभीक्ष्ण्यं नास्ति चेत् द्वित्वमपि नावश्यकम्. सो पाचम पाचम इति तत्र रूपं सिद्ध्यति. Only for a few small set of dhatus a very specific aspect of prakriya has been mentioned. Apaguro namuli iti sutrena guri udyamane, to put efforts, ityasya dhatoh vishe kinchana karyamuktam. छिन्नमुलो दीर्घोऽन्यतरस्याम् इत्यनेन मित् धातूनां विषये किञ्चित् कार्यम् उक्तम्. विभाषा छिन्नमुलोः इत्यनेन लभ धातोः विषये किञ्चित् कार्यम् उक्तम्. एतानि कार्याणि सूक्ष्म संक्षेपरूपेण पूर्वस्मिन् वर्गे दृष्टानि. इदानीं सूत्राणाम् आधारेण पश्यामः. तत्र प्रथमं सूत्रम् अपगुरो नमुली. So let's see the context of this sutram. You can see this sutram comes in the section of Adecha Upadeshe Shiti and so on. But Adecha Upadeshe Shiti is the karya that happens in the pratyay vivaksha. This is not a karya that is happening in the pratyay vivaksha. It is a normal varna karya, but the context comes over here, that in this context it is an akaradesha. Adesha ityukte akaradesha bhavati. The same context is being brought over here. अपगुरो णमुलि इति विशिष्टं सूत्रम् एकस्यैव धातोः विषये एकस्यैव प्रत्ययस्य विषये इदं प्रवर्तते. सो अपगुरो णमुलि गुरि उद्यमने इत्यतः धातोः अप इति उपसर्गः अस्ति चेत् एचः स्थाने विभाषा आकारादेशः भवति. सो यू हैव अप प्लस गुर प्लस नमुल. By normal puganta laghupadasya cha gur becomes gor, and at this place H sthane, O is an H letter, tasya sthane vikalpena akaradeshah bhavati. So O will partially get converted to A, or O will remain as it is. So H varnasya sthane vikalpena akaradesha bhavati. Apagoram no chet apagaram iti रूपद्वयं सिद्ध्यति. So asi apagaram yudhyante, asi apagoram yudhyante. So this is द्वितीयायां चत्वरा अस्ति चेत् तत्र णमुल् प्रत्ययः भवति. So asyapagaram yudhyante, take out the sword and fight with each other hurriedly. Asya apagoram and apagaram, both the forms are seen. Guri udyamane ityasya echaha va at syat namuli asi apagoram yudhyante asi apagaram. The words are not asi apagaram, they have to be spoken as asyapagaram. Just for explanation, I'm breaking them up. The sentence should be read as asyapagoram yudhyante asyapagaram yudhyante iti. Atra gura dhatoho ओकारादेशः यदा क्रियते तदा तस्य विकल्पेन आकारादेशः भवति इति प्रथमं कार्यम्. द्वितीयं कार्यं, so the first one was not an angakarya, it is a varnakarya 6-1. The next one is angakarya 6-4. चिन्नमुलोः दीर्घः अन्यतरस्याम्. So just one second. So चिन्नमुलोः दीर्घः अन्यतरस्याम्. We'll ignore what chin is, not in the current context. णमुले परे णौ परतः मितामङ्गानाम् उपधायाः अन्यतरस्यां दीर्घः भवति. The meaning is written over here. If you have a mitta dhatu, what is a mitta dhatu? A dhatu which has makara as its samyaka. Technically speaking, no dhatus have makara as its samyaka in them, but there are ganasutras in the dhatu patha, like ghatadayah mitaha, or like jani, jrush, kana, suranjo, mantascha. So there are a bunch of 4 or 5 ganasutras in the dhatu patha itself, with which a few dhatus are to be considered as mitta dhatus. So if you have a mitta dhatu, the reason why a dhatu is made mitta, or the reason why itsamnyaka makara is added, is to make it raswa in presence of nich pratyaya by mitam raswa. 6492 mitam raswa, this is immediate next sutra to that. So if you go to 6493, the immediate previous sutram is mitam raswaha. Anena kim bhavati, mita dhatavah santi tesham vishaye ह्रस्वादेशः भवति णिच् प्रत्यये परे. तादृशः ह्रस्वादेशः णमुल् प्रत्ययस्य विषये विकल्पेन भवति, अतः अन्यतरस्याम् इति उच्यते. That's as simple as that. So you have a tama dhatu. There is this Gana Sutra because of which it becomes mita. The purpose of mita is only in the nijanta prakriya, nowhere else. So you have tama plus णिच plus णमुल. Tama plus णिच इत्यत्र प्रारंभे अत उपधायाः इत्यनेन उपधा दीर्घः. अस्मिन् उपधा दीर्घे कृते मितां ह्रस्व इत्यनेन पुनः ह्रस्वादेशः. So this is not as simple as tama becoming tami. It is tama becoming tama, and tama again becoming back as tama, and then e will be added over there. So tami plus ama. At this place, understand the ह्रस्व is compulsory. मितां ह्रस्वः इत्यनेन ह्रस्वादेशः नित्यं भवति, परन्तु तत्र चिन्नमुलोः इति पुनः वैकल्पिकः दीर्घादेशः भवति. So tami or optionally tami. So dirgha will become optionally tami plus or tami plus ama. Further prakriya is simple. Tamam or tamam iti रूपद्वयं सिद्ध्यति. So चिन्नमुलोः दीर्घः अन्यतरस्याम् इत्यनेन अत्र विकल्पेन दीर्घादेशः भवति. अत्र कश्चन एकः प्रक्रियाविशेषः अपि द्रष्टव्यः. Now you are all experts, you will should be able to figure this out immediately. What happens is, as soon as this nicha pratyaya is removed in case because of neraniti, this removed nicha pratyaya can act by sthanivat bhava over here, and it can just 1 second. Sorry, it can act by a sthanivat bhava over here and it can block the dirghadesha. So nilopasya sthanivat bhavat dirgha vidhau tu ajadesho na sthanivat. The point is, when the nich pratyaya is removed by achaf parasmin purva vidhau, it can come over there and it can block the upadha dirgha. In order for that to happen, I think this neraniti should be on the previous step. That's what I was actually thinking. That neraniti should be on the previous step. Then the nich pratyaya is removed and then chin namuloho. Because chin namuloho iti asti, atra namul pratyaya nasti, atah atra upadha dirghasya sambandha api nasti. So first there will be neraniti, the nich pratyay will go away, and then the namul pratyay will be directly present in front of tama, and then the upadha dirgha will happen optionally. Tatra nich pratyah sthanivat bhavena agantum shaknoti achaf parasmin purva vidhau iti sutrena. So achaha lopaha parasmin paranimittam and purva vidhi. So purva vidhau dirghadeshaha avashyakaha. So by achaf parasmin purva vidhau, this particular nilopa might come by sthanivat bhava, but there is immediately next sutram न पदाम तद्विर्वचन वरेयलोप स्वर सवर्णानुस्वार दीर्घ जश्चर विधिषु. So for that dirgha vidhi, this nilopa does not come in the picture, and therefore you can do an optional dirgha tama or tama, giving tamantamam or tamantaman after doing dvitva. So that's exactly what is being told in Kashika also. Nilopasya sthanivad bhavat dirgha vidhau tu ajadesho na sthanivat. न पदाम तद्विर्वचन वरेयलोप स्वर सवर्णानुस्वार दीर्घ जश्चर विधिषु. That dirgha vidhi is not to be considered, or that dirgha vidhi will not allow the achaf purasmin purva vidhau to act. So we can definitely do a dirghadesha over here. Understand what is happening. The raswadesha is compulsory because it is on the account of nicha, whereas the dirghadesha is on the account of ama. So somebody might ask, why not just give an optional raswadesha? The optional raswadesha cannot be given because raswadesha is already done. Its nimitta is different. The nimitta of raswadesha is a nicha pratyaya. Mitam hrasvaha ityanena nich pratyaya pare hraswadesha bhavati. So even before this pratyaya shows its existence, while doing sanadyanta dhatavaha, we have already done the rasvadesha, and therefore the only way for the pratyaya is to say that I will give optional dirghadesha. So that is how the optional dirghadesha is given, and you have both the forms possible. Agre gacchamaha antimam sutram asya prakarnasya विभाषा चिन्नमुलोः इति णमुल प्रत्ययस्य प्रक्रिया विशेषः. Let's also take a look at this sutram. The sequence of sutras is also important. So here you have labhescha. Labhescha ityanena labha dhatoः ajadi pratyये pare numagamah bhavati. So if you go to this sutram, labha plus say aniyar will become lambhaniya. Labha dhatoः ajadi pratyये pare labhescha ityanena numagamah bhavati. Now namul is an ajadi pratyaya. So when you have labha plus namul, it is expected to give a numagama. That is the numagama that is given to be given as optional. So he says vibhasha chin namuloho. So chin pratyaya punarekavaram tyajamaha तथा च नमुल प्रत्ययः इत्येतयोः विषये नुमागमः विकल्पेन भवति. So you have the examples of namul over here. Labha iti dhatuः, तत्र namul प्रत्यये कृते विकल्पेन नुमागमः. So लम्भं लम्भं नो चेत् लभं लभं इति रूपद्वयं भवितुम् अर्हति. So चिन् तथा namul इत्येतयोः विभाषानुमागमः भवति. लम्भं लम्भं, or should be labham labham. Did I write the prakriya in a wrong way or what? Labham labham. Sorry, this is ata upadhaya iti dirgha bhavet. I forgot to add that step. So ata upadhaya iti dirghe krute labham labham or numagame krute lambham lambham. So labham labham tatra numagamah na bhavati chet upadha dirghah no chet lambham lambham. And then he says vyavasthita vibhasha cha iyam. So let's read this description also. Vyavasthita vibhasha iyam केवलम उपसर्ग रहितस्य विषये एव अयं विकल्पः. लभ धातुः यदा उपसर्गस्य उपस्थितौ प्रयुज्यते तदा अस्य सूत्रस्य प्रसक्तिः नास्ति. लभेश्च इत्यनेन नित्यमेव नुमागमः भवति. सो प्रादेः इत्युक्ते तत्र उपसर्गः यदा प्रयुज्यते तदा नित्यं नुम प्रादेहे नुमागमः नित्यं भवति इत्युक्ते उपसर्गस्य उपस्थितौ लभधातोः नित्यं नुमागमः भवति, परन्तु उपसर्गः नास्ति चेत् विकल्पेन नुमागमः भवति। सो प्र इति अस्ति चेत् तत्र नित्यं नुमागमः प्रलम्भम् इत्येव रूपं, परन्तु केवलं लभ अस्ति चेत् नुमागमे कृते लम्भं लम्भं नुमागमस्य उपस्थितौ अत उपधाय इति दीर्घे कृते लाभं लाभम् इति द्वित्वम्. If you don't want to do, if you're not using it in the vipsa, you don't have to do dvitvam. If you're not using it in abhikshnya, no dvitvam is necessary, so you can just say labham or lambham, whereas for upasarga you have to do only pralambham. Now there is something very interesting that is being discussed in this particular sutram in Mahabhashyam. It's just 2 lines, but it's worth reading. What happens is this vyavasthita vibhasha is always a dicey case. Dicey case in the sense, as soon as you say vyavasthita vibhasha, it means there is some kind of non-symmetry in the system, and we just have to rely on vyakhyanas to understand vyavasthita vibhasha kutra विभाषा रूपेण प्रवर्तते, कुत्र नित्य रूपेण प्रवर्तते, कुत्र नैव प्रवर्तते, तत्सर्वं व्याख्यानात् एव अस्माभिः ज्ञायते. So instead of making this a vyavasthita vibhasha, is it possible to derive the same particular observation? What is the observation over here? उपसर्गः अस्ति चेत् नुमागमः नित्यं भवति इत्युक्ते किं? विभाषा न भवति. उपसर्गः अस्ति चेत् विभाषा न भवति, अन्यत्र विभाषा भवति. This is the particular observation that we are doing. Is it possible to systematically arrive at this observation without really worrying about whether this is vyavasthit vibhasha or not? And that is exactly being explained in Mahabhashyam. Very beautiful observation by Bhashyakara. Look at this sutram. What Bhashyakara says is that this is the sutram vibhasha chinnamuloho. Just bring proper anuvrittis in this sutram and your problem will be solved. What kind of anuvrittis? There is upasargat as an anuvritti, 2 sutras later, bring it. And there is na as a word in the previous sutra, bring it. So the sutram will fully look like vibhasha chinnamuloho na upasargat. Now it means that if the labha dhatu is used without upasarga, there is a vibhashanumagama, but for upasarga, this vibhashanumagama is also not applicable, which means there is a nityam numagama. So that is exactly being proposed by the bhashya. Tatra abhisam, so iha ityukte, in this sutram, upasargad ityapi prakrutam na ityapi. Understand this breakup. Upasargad ityapi prakrutam. Upasargad comes as an anuvritti. Na, it also comes as an anuvritti. Tatra abhisambandha matram kartavyam vibhasha chinnamuloho upasargat na. So that's exactly being proposed by that means the reverse part is proposed by the Vartikakara, that you should modify this sutram by saying chinnamuloho anupasargasya iti vaktavyam. This is a proposal. Instead of making a vyavasthita vibhasha, which means things will be a little chaotic, let's have a proper modification in the sutram by giving a Vartika chinnamuloho anupasargasya iti vaktavyam. इह माभूत् प्रलम्भम् इत्यत्र तु अवश्यं नुमागमः भवेदेव इति अत्र चिन्तनं. तर्हि तत् वक्तव्यम् इति तत्र प्रश्नः क्रियते. तस्य किमुत्तरं? न आवश्यकम्. उपसर्गात् तथा न इति उभयथा अनुवृत्तिरूपेण इति द्वयोः अपि अनुवृत्तिरूपेण स्वीकारं तत्र क्रियते, तत्र निर्देशः क्रियते. एतादृशं क्रियते चेत् विभाषा चिन्नमुलोः इत्युक्ते नमुल् प्रत्ययस्य उपस्थितौ विकल्पेन नुमागमः भवति. उपसर्गस्य विषये तु विभाषा नैव प्रवर्तते, अतः नित्यं नुमागमः भवति. नित्यं कथमागतं? तत्र लभेश्च इति सूत्रेणैव नित्यं नुमागमः उच्यते. So the main sutram itself over here, where did it go? Here. Labhesha. This sutram is anyway going to give the nitya numagama. That is being made optional, in which case na upasargat. Upasargasya vishaye tu vibhasha nasti nityameva numagamah bhavati. So again, very interesting example where Bhashyakara tries to somehow justify Panini Maharshi by just bringing the right anuvrittis and tries to oppose the Vartikakara. So this pattern is seen everywhere in Ashtadhyayi, that whenever possible, wherever feasible, even by doing a minor restructuring of the Sutra Patha, but Bhashakara always tends to prefer the original Sutra Patha, the opinion of the Sutrakara, rather than the proposed Vartikas. Here is one clear example of that. So I think with this, we complete the discussion of the Namul Prakriya. Half an hour is over. I think we just need 1 hour. We have 5 more sutras. Avyaye yathabhipretakhyane kryaktvaanamulau tiryachyapavarge swange taspratyeye krubvoho nadhartha pratyeye chvyarthe tushnimi bhuvaha and anvachanulomye. I think 6 sutras. All these sutras are either for kru dhatu or for bhu dhatu or both of them. So atra kim drashtavyam क्त्वा तथा णमुल द्वयोः प्रत्ययोः अत्र विधानं कृतमस्ति. णमुल प्रत्ययस्य विषये उपपदसमासः तृतीया प्रभृतिन्यन्यतरस्याम् इति विकल्प्यते. क्त्वा प्रत्ययस्य विषये उपपदसमासः क्त्वा च इत्यनेन विकल्प्यते. So in all these sutras, the upapada samasa will be optional. We will see the forms with the samasa and without the samasa. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, so let's start with the first sutram. Avyaye yathabhipretakhane kriyaktvaanamulau. This sutram has nothing to do with preta. I mean, I cannot believe, but somebody actually asked me this question a few months ago. You won't believe what kind of questions I get on email by looking at the Sutra Patha. So this has nothing to do with anything with dead bodies or preta. This is abhipreta. अयथा अभिप्रेत आख्यानम् इति अत्र आशयः अस्ति. अव्ययम् यत्र उपपदरूपेण स्वीक्रियते. Even if you say avyayam, the examples quote only 2 avyayas. Uchchaihi means loudly and nichaihi means a lower voice. So only these 2 avyayas are given in examples. So let's stick to those avyayas. So when these 2 avyayas uchchaihi and nichaihi, these are used as upapadas. So as I mentioned, it is about talking. Uchchaihi vadati, nichaihi vadati. Iti atra ashayah sandarbhah asti. So that's the word akyanam, to tell something either in the high pitch by shouting. I mean, when you tell something, why would you tell something by shouting? So that 20 other people who might not otherwise listen are also able to listen. That is a primary purpose when you tell something by shouting. Or tell purposely in a very low voice that only the person with whom you are talking, he will be able to understand it and no other people will understand it. Now there are generally etiquettes, or there are generally conventions, like when you want to say praise somebody, or when you want to give a good news to somebody, when you want to talk something great, you will purposely tell it in the loud voice so that people around him can also listen to it, they can also congratulate him and so on. Whereas if you want to tell some bad news like a death or a loss or something, you will probably tell, you won't or something that is going to make that person sad, then you won't purposely shout it and make an issue out of it. You'll probably tell it to that person in a soft voice by taking him in private and so on. So this is a normal etiquette of speaking loudly versus speaking in private, or speaking slowly, whispering. In this sutram, the context is that this etiquette is exactly reversed. So when a good thing, when a praising is to be done, purposely it is being done in low voice by a crooked person. So it's a behavior of a crooked person who will purposely do the praising in the low voice. Whereas if some bad thing is to be told, he will purposely shout it and tell it so that everybody will listen and probably will make fun of that person. So that is ayatha abhipreta akhyanam. Yatha means appropriate to the customs, appropriate to the etiquettes. Ayatha, the reverse of that. Ayatha abhipreta akhyanam yada kriyate ityukte prasanga pratikula vachanam athava apriya varta uchchaihi uchchate. So prasanga pratikula vachanam can mean both things. हैप्पी प्रसंगः अस्ति चेत् तत् प्रतिकूलं, नो चेत् दुःखदायकः प्रसंगः अस्ति चेत् तत् प्रतिकूलं. So prasanga pratikulam, not fitting the context, not fitting the behavior, not fitting the etiquettes. So apriya varta uchchaihi uchchate, so that others can listen and probably make fun. प्रिय वार्ता निम्न स्वरेण उच्यते. तादृशस्य आख्यानस्य निर्देशार्थं क्रू धातोः क्त्वा तथा णमुल् इति प्रत्ययौ भवतः. सो क्रुयः इति धातुः क्त्वा णमुलौ इति प्रत्ययौ अव्यये इति उपपदम् उच्चैः और नीचैः अयथाभिप्रेताख्याने इति अत्र उदाहरण अत्र कॉन्टेक्स्ट संदर्भः दत्तः अस्ति. So let's read the commentaries and it will be very much clear. अव्यये उपपदे अयथाभिप्रेताख्याने गम्यमाने करोतेः क्त्वाणमुलौ भवतः ब्राह्मण पुत्रस्ते जातः. Understand this very beautiful dialogue. So there is a crooked, there is a a bad person, a crooked person, whatever, and he is telling the Brahmin that you are now a father, a son is born in your house. Now something, this is a really good news. This is something that should be celebrated, but this crooked person is purposely telling this in a very low voice. How do we know? We don't know anything of that from this sutram, from this sentence. But there is a dialogue that is written in Kashika. So some crooked person, some dushta manusha comes to this Brahmin and he speaks in a whispering tone, very low voice. Hey Brahmana, putraste jataha. And then the Brahmana replies to him, किम तरहि वृषल नीचै कृत्य आचक्षे नीचै कृत्वा आचक्षे नीचैकारम आचक्षे. So why, oh idiot, why are you speaking this in a low voice? And this is what the Brahman is counter questioning him. And this is the statement where you can see the ktva and the namul pratyay being applied to kru dhatu in presence of the uchchaihi or nichaihi as the avyaya. So when that vrushala is kind of an abusive word. So when that idiot person, for example, he says this news in a very low voice, the Brahmana replies to him by saying, Kim nichaihi krutya achakshe. Why achakshe ityukte vadasi. Chakshing आख्याने और व्यक्तायाम वाची इत्यर्थः अस्ति. Why are you telling this news in a very low voice? किम नीचैः कृत्य आचक्षे. किम नीचैः कृत्वा आचक्षे. किम नीचैः कारम आचक्षे. So नीचैः कारम अत्र नमुल प्रत्ययः. नीचैः कृत्य अत्र क्त्वा प्रत्ययः समासे तस्य ल्यबादेशः. एंड नीचैः कृत्वा इत्यत्र उपपद समासः न भवति, अतः क्त्वा प्रत्ययः तादृश एव तिष्ठति. णमुल प्रत्ययस्य विषये अपि उपपद समासस्य विकल्पः, परन्तु तत्र रूपं न भिद्यते. नीचैः स्पेस कारम इत्येव भवेत्, अतः तत्र तादृशं लिखितं नास्ति. परन्तु क्त्वा प्रत्ययस्य विषये समासे ल्यबादेशः भवति, अतः उभयथा अत्र वाक्यं दर्शितम् अस्ति. सो किं तर्हि वृषल नीचै कृत्य आचक्षे. व्हाई आर यू टेलिंग दिस इन द लो वॉइस? The style of saying this is nichai krutyachakshe or nichai karamachakshe. That is being derived using the sutram अव्यये यथाभिप्रेताख्याने क्रियक्त्वाणमुलौ. सो उच्चैः कृत्य उच्चैः कृत्वा उच्चैः कारम नीचैः कृत्य नीचैः कृत्वा नीचैः कारम एते शब्दाः अत्र सिद्ध्यन्ति. Other example. So and sorry, in the same context he is continuing. Uchchaihi nama priyam akhyeyam. If something is a good the information, you should really be shouting and telling it, or telling it loudly. Uchchaihi nama priyam akhyeyam. Please be happy and say this. Now the second example, Brahmana Kanyate Garbhini. So an unmarried daughter of this Brahmin is now found out to be pregnant. This is something that will definitely make the Brahmin unhappy. But this information is being told to the Brahmin by shouting, so that 20 other households in the neighborhood will be able to understand, and they all will start looking down towards this Brahmin. So this is being told by shouting, Brahmana Kanyate Garbhini. And then the Brahmana replies, Kim tarhi vrushala uchchaikrutya chakshe. Why are you telling the sad news by or bad news by shouting? What are you exactly trying to mean? Kim tarhi vrushala uchchaikritya chakre uchchaikritva uchchaikaram nichaihi nama apriyam akhyeyam. You should tell the bad news or unhappy news or uncomfortable news in a low tone, in whispering. Iti atra ashayah. Then he talks a few of the dalakrutyas of this sutram in Kashika. Ayathabhipretakhyane itikim. So if the context is right, if you're actually telling the good news by shouting or bad news in a low tone, then you don't use this sutram. This sutram has to be ayatha abhipreta, reversal of the context. So ayathabhipretakhyane itikim uchchaihi krutva achaste putraste jataha. So here is just normal ktva pratyaya by purva parakalika relation. This sutram is not even applicable. Uchchaihi krutva, so there is not even a samas over here. Uchchaihi krutva achaste putraha te jataha iti atra ashayah. क्त्वाग्रहणं किमर्थं यावता सर्वस्मिन्नेव प्रकरणे वासरूप विधिना क्त्वा भवति. So in this entire section, whenever there is a purva paranyaya, we anyway know there is going to be ktva. We have also given the example of ktva as a counter example over here. तथापि किमर्थमत्र सूत्रे पुनः क्त्वा इति उच्यते. So in the previous class, I also told that in all these sutras, even though there is just namul, ktva will come as vasarupa by vasarupa vidhi, because many of these sutram will require a purva para relation between the kriya. So purvaha paraha iti tatra sambandha asti chet avashyam tatra त्वा प्रत्ययः भवितुम् अर्हति. अतः त्वाग्रहणं पुनः अस्मिन् सूत्रे किमर्थम् इति चेत् उपपद समासार्थं तत्र वचनम. So vikalpena उपपद समासः भवेत्. If the twa comes as directly as an anuvritti, then it would have blocked the upapada samasa by maivavyena, parantu atra upapada samasa apekshate. That is the reason, if you remember in the previous class, in all these cases, I said that for namula upapada samasa is optional, but for twa upapada samasa does not happen. It gets blocked by amaivavyena. But here we want optional upapada samasa. So त्वा चैत्यनेन विकल्पेन उपपद समासं कर्तुम् एव अत्र अस्मिन् सूत्रे त्वा इत्यस्य प्रयोगः कृतः अस्ति. तथा च, so that's what he said, त्वा च इत्यस्मिन् सूत्रे तृतीया प्रभृति न्यन्यतरस्याम् इति वर्तते. So त्वा इति शब्दः, त्वा इति प्रत्ययस्य विषये अपि अत्र उपपद समासः विकल्प्यते. So that was the question about why twa is present. In the same way, somebody might ask, why the namul present? Because the namul is all the way through the previous sutram. So you could have just said avyaye yatha vipretakhyane kruyat twa cha. And that is actually an acceptable argument. But Kashikakara somehow tries to defend. He is not very well defending that particular argument. But he says that if you say avyaye yatha vipretakhyane kruyat twa cha, then it will only mean that namul comes in this sutram and not in the remaining sutram. So atra avyaye yathabhi pretakhyane kruyatva cha iti kevalam cha likhyate chet namul pratyayasya agre anuvrittihi na bhavitum arhati iti kashikakarasya matam tadrisham ma bhut atah atra tva namulau iti ubhayatha prayogah kritah asti. So that is what Kashikakara says. As I said, it is not very much easily in a position that we can accept it, but this is what the view he has expressed. So he says namul adhikare punah namul grahanam tulya kakshatva jnapanartham. Tulya kakshatva means both of them will go hand in hand together. Their kaksha, their boundary is now going to be together, will be ending together. It's not a namul ending and a twa starting, but it is namul and twa going hand in hand. That is tulya kakshatva jnapanartham तेन उत्तरत्र द्वयोः अपि अनुवृत्तिः भविष्यति इति अत्र आशयः. कौमुदीमपि पठामः. अयथाभिप्रेताख्यानं नाम अप्रियस्य उच्चैः प्रियस्य नीचैः कथनम्. उच्चैः कृत्य उच्चैः कृत्वा उच्चैः कारम् अप्रियम् आचष्टे वदति कथयति ब्रूते इति अर्थः. नीचैः कृत्य नीचैः कृत्वा नीचैः कारं प्रियं ब्रूते इति अव्यये यथाभिप्रेताख्याने कृञक्त्वाणमुलौ इति अत्र आशयः. Somebody is saying, is there any statement from Bhashyakara for twa and namul? Let's see, there is no bhashyam for this sutram. So Bhashyakara just say, I don't think Bhashyakara says anything. No other commentaries also talk about any of this particular aspect. So why he says Tvanamulo, why he, maybe what Kashikakara says does make sense, but it's very hard to accept it on the face of it. Like for example, especially when in other cases you can actually see bikcha being used and in other play and still more than one words coming down as an anuvritti. This is a normal thing to see at various places in the Sutra Pata. So it is allowed at those places and it is not allowed here. That kind of argument, I just don't see why it should be easily acceptable. Maybe there are reasons. I'm not denying that, but it's not very easily acceptable. And the fact that it is not, justified in other commentaries also makes it, a one-sided opinion of Kashika. Agre gacchamaha agrimam sutram. So we are done with avyaya yatha vipretakhyane kriyaktvanamulo. Agrimam sutramasti tiryachapa varge. Simple sutras, only a little bit of context needs to be told. Otherwise there is nothing difficult in any of those sutras today. So agrimam sutramasti tiryachapa varge. Tiryachi and apavarge iti shabdadvayam samas sandhim krutva tiryachapa varge. Now, what is Tiryak? Tiryak, most of you already know the meaning. Tiryak means not straight. So, a bent or crooked or say, so reverse of straight. It is samanya rupena vaktum shakyate. Tiryach iti shabdaha anchu iti dhatuna nirmitaha asti. So, anchu gati pujanayoho ityasmad dhatoho ऋत्विक दध्रुक स्रग्दि गश्नु ऋत्विक दध्रुक स्रग्दि उष्णिक अंचु यजि कृञ्चाञ्च इति सूत्रेण. So pranch, prateech, udeech, and here we have tiryach. So tiryanch, nya asti tatra tiryanch iti moola shabdaha. I already have it over here in the shabda patha. You can see over here tiryanch iti shabdaha asti. तस्य प्रथमैकवचनं तिर्यङ् इति भवति, परन्तु मूलरूपेण शब्दः तु तिर्यञ्च इति अस्ति. Going in a diagonal way, even in a crossword, you see this word used tiryak or tiryang. So going in a diagonal way, tiryach iti atra prayogah kriyate. So tiryak shabde upapade krु धातोः क्त्वाणमुलौ प्रत्ययौ भवतः. So that is the upapada. Now this word, as I mentioned, it is used in the context of going diagonally or not being straight and so on. So if this particular I mean, this is the normal meaning of this particular word. However, this word is also used in a very specific context. So tiryak karoti इत्यत्र समापयति इति अपि अर्थः कश्चन विद्यते. So even though the meaning of the word tiryak in general is diagonally or non-straight or crooked, in some specific context like tiryak karoti etadrisheshu vakyeshu tiryak iti shabdasya arthah samapayati, to conclude, ends, finishes iti api arthah tatra svikriyate. So that is the meaning that is discussed in this particular sutram. So tiryak iti shabde upapade apavarge gamyamane. Apavarga is samaptihi. So that special meaning, not the normal crooked meaning, but that special meaning apavarga iti arthaha asti chet क्रू धातोः क्त्वा तथा णमुल प्रत्ययो भवतः. Again, only for the kru dhatu. Kru comes as an anuvritti from the previous sutram kruyah. So only kru dhatu, only one upapadam tiryak, tatra tiryak karoti इत्यत्र समापयति इत्यस्मिन् अर्थे. So tiryak karoti समापयति ततः गच्छति तीर्यक कृत्य गच्छति और तीर्यकारं गच्छति इति तत्र रूपं सिद्ध्यति. So tiryancha, we will not go in the prakriya of this particular word, but original word is tiryancha. Here you say tiryak karoti tatah gacchati tiryankrutya gacchati or tiryankarang gacchati. समासः नास्ति चेत् तीर्यक कृत्वा गच्छति तीर्यकारं गच्छति इति रूपं सिद्ध्यति. So let's see the commentary. Tiryak shabde upapade kruyah tvanamalo pratyayo bhavata apavarge gamyamane apavargaha samaptihi, to conclude and go. So finishes something and goes. Tiryak krutya gataha, tiryak krutva gataha, tiryak karangataha, samapya gataha iti atra ashayah. Apavarge iti kim? The normal meaning of the word tiryak is to bend, to be crooked. So tiryak krutva kashtham gataha. So a stick which is straight, he bends that stick and goes. Maybe he's walking on a road and a big stick of tree is coming on his way. So he's a straight stick. He will bend the stick so that it, goes away from his road, and then he will go ahead. So that is nothing to do with samapanam. So tatra asya सूत्रस्य प्रयोगः न भवति. सामान्य रूपेण पूर्व परकालन्यायेन क्त्वा प्रत्यय कृते रूपं सिद्ध्यति. सो तीर्य कृत्वा काष्ठं गतः. एकवारं न्यासे अपि तदेव अस्ति. तीर्य कृत्वा काण्डं गतः इत्युक्ते किम्? अनृजु कृत्वा. इट वाज रुजु इज स्ट्रेट, अनृजु इज crooked, not straight. So parshvatah krutva makes, puts it behind. I mean, by bending it, it was in his front. By bending it, it goes to side or behind or whatever. So parshvatah krutva gatah ityarthah. कौमुदीमपि एकवारं पश्यामः. तीर्यक् शब्दे उपपदे क्रुयः त्वाणमुलौ स्तः समाप्तौ गम्यायां. तीर्यक् कृत्य तीर्यक् कृत्वा गतः, तीर्यक् कारं समाप्य गतः इत्यर्थः. अपवर्गे इति किं? तीर्यक् कृत्वा काष्ठं गतः इति अत्र आशयः. This should be very clear. Now there is one component in Kashika, this last point over here. Again, this is a useless addition in Kashika over here, but I'll again talk because it's written over here. Now this is nothing to do with the meaning of the sutram. We are done with the sutram. Now he's talking about the construction of the sutram. What he's now going to do is he's going to point out some issues in the construction of the sutram itself. So he says, look at the sutram. The word is tiryachi apavarge. What is this tiryachi? Question that he asks. Now if you say tiryach is a simple shabda, then tiryachi might be saptami ekvachanam. So that might be an obvious answer, that tiryachi is a saptami ekvachanam. But this tiryanch word does not behave normally. This tiryanch word is a very mysterious word. You should definitely memorize the forms of this word. Sometimes there is a ng, sometimes there is a y, sometimes there is a sh, sometimes there is a g, and so on. So if you look at the saptami ekvachanam of this word, it is tirashchi. So the saptami ekvachanam of this particular word, many of you might have learned the prakriya in the Subanta Prakaranam, or you might be able to learn it on your own also. It's not there, I think, on the this yet. Yeah. Oh, it's there. Very nice. So tiryanch plus e, tiras plus ch plus e. So there is an achaha sutra and there is a tiraschi and so on. I think this I had to remove. But anyway, it looks like there is a prakriya over here. So this must be from Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi. So we have some prakriya and we have the form tiraschi, which is a saptami ekvachanam form over here. So the point to note is that for the word tiriyanch, the form is tiraschi, and therefore you should be using the form tiraschi in the sutram. So that is exactly what is the objection by Kashikakara. Tiryachi iti shabdanukaranam kimartham krutam iti tatra ashayah asti. So instead of writing the form tiraschi, which is the right form, what Panini has done is he has taken the tiryach word, the verbatim sequence of tiryach, as a standalone chakaranta word, and he has just the saptami ekavachanam as tiryachi. Why has that been done? Why cannot he use the actual saptami ekvachanam is the question. So this kind of using a word in a different style is called anukaranam. You see it in many different places. One of my favorite examples is this kshiyaha dirghat. Look at this kshiyaha. Even if you take this kshiyo dirghat iti sutramasti, if you take the kshiyo dirghat, kshi is actually a dhatu, but he just treats the kshi word as a pratipadikam, as a verbatim ikaranta pratipadikam, and he adds vibhakti pratyas over there. So if you go to this sutra, it is talking about a dhatu, but in the sutram The dhatu property has been, ignored. Kshi is just purely taken as an anupurvi, simple sequence of letters, and simple vibhakti pratyaya has been applied. This is called anukaranam. What is anukaranam? Forgetting the original forms of the word, even forgetting whether that word is a subanta or a tinganta or a dhatu or a pratipadika or whatever, and just treat it as a simple word with the normal vibhakti pratyaya as being attached without any special prakriya, and for create those forms. So this is called anukaranam, shabdasya anukaranam, the verbatim anupurvi, ta, I, r, y, r, a, ch, this is being combined. Understand this once again. The original word tiryach, it has that acha dhatu as a component. If you have that particular knowledge that there is an acha dhatu which is a component, then this tirashya and all that forms can be formed, because there are sutras specific to acha dhatu which operate in that particular creation. But if you just take it as a simple verbatim sequence of characters without adding any meaning to it, then you can just treat it as tiryach and make saptami ekvacham tiryach plus ni varnamelam krutva tiryachi. So this is called anukaranam. And then he says, kimartham etadrusham anukaranam krutam asti na cha prakrutivad anukaranena bhavitavyam. Prakriti means the actual word. Should the anukaranam be identical to the actual word, or can you deviate from the actual word and do anukaranam in the way you want, is the question that is posed over here. So first thing, he makes it clear that this tiryachi is a saptami, step number 1. The second argument is, if it is a saptami, why it is not tiraschi, why it is tiryachi? The answer is, it is an anukaranam of the shabda. It is just the word that is being used without its meaning, without the fact that there is an achadhatu. Then there is a question on it. Nacha prakrutivad anukaranena bhavitavyam. But if it is an anukarana, shouldn't it behave exactly like that original word? And the answer is, if you do that, then the visible form that we want to look, the tiryak, will be destroyed. Anukriyamana rupa vinasha prasangat. That will be destroyed. If you look at the word tirashchi, it has no similarity with the word tiryak, or very little similarity with the word tiryak, and therefore the form that we want over here will be completely destroyed, and therefore we don't use the original word. We just do a simple anukaranam by doing a vibhakti pratyaya addition. He says this is being done at many places. So adasomat ityasmin sutre adasaha इति अदस् शब्दस्य अनुकरणं कृत्वा षष्ठी विभक्ति प्रत्ययः अस्ति. वस्तुतः तु अदस् शब्दस्य षष्ठी एकवचनम् अमुष्य इति भवति. I don't know how many of you memorize अदस् word, probably zero of you, but अदस् शब्दस्य षष्ठी एकवचनम् अमुष्य इति अस्ति. अत्र केवलम् अदस् प्लस नस् इति कृत्वा अदस्सः इति कृतमस्ति. एतद् शब्दस्य अत्र एतदः अश अन्न इति अपि तत्र पाठभेदः अस्ति. एतदः अश इत्यस्मिन् सूत्रे अपि तत्र एतद् शब्दस्य षष्ठी एकवचनं, he just adds a nas over there and makes एतदः. All this is anukaranam. So अत्र मूलरूपं स्वीकृत्य तत्रैव विभक्ति प्रत्ययं संस्थाप्य अनुकरणरूपेण प्रयोगः क्रियते इति अत्र आशयः. There is a question which I don't seem to understand, but let me take it. So tiryak krutva, this is a samasa paksha, because there is the samasa is optional by tvacha, and this is tiryak krutya, which is a samasa paksha. So there is a what no, this should be tiryak krutva. This is typing. Oh, sorry. Somebody's, I think, pointing a typing mistake over here. This has to be tiryak krutva gacchati. So there is a typing mistake on my slide over here. There is tiryak krutva gacchati over here. Samasah asti chedapi tatra tva pratyah eva bhavati. Tiryak is not an avyaya. It has all the vibhakti forms. So avyayam nasti chet tatra tva pratyasya lyap adesha api na bhavati. सो परमकृत्वा उत्तमकृत्वा इति उदाहरणानि अपि अस्माभिः दृष्टानि. तत्र समासे अनय पूर्वे अनय इति पर्युदासः अस्ति. अव्ययं पूर्वपदरूपेण तत्र उपपदरूपेण विद्यते चेदेव क्त्वा प्रत्ययस्य लबादेशः, and therefore it should be tiryak krutva in the samasa paksha, and it should be tiryak krutva in the samasa bhinna paksha. So that is what he says over here. No, hold on. I myself am confusing over here. It should be tirya krutva and tirya krutya. Why is he taking it as an avyaya? Oh, let's take a look at the commentary. I myself got confused because of this question. So तीरः अंचत् इति ऋत्विगादीना क्विन् इति तीर्यक् शब्दः तत्र क्विन् प्रत्ययान्तः अस्ति अव्ययं नास्ति चेत् तत्र तीर्यक् कृत्येति ल्यबादेशः कथं भवति इति किञ्चित् द्रष्टव्यम्. This is very strange. Thanks for somebody who asked this question. I have completely missed this point. एनिवे परन्तु अव्ययम् अस्ति चेदेव तत्र त्वा प्रत्ययस्य लबादेशः अपि भवेत्. अव्ययं नास्ति चेत् त्वा प्रत्ययस्य लबादेशः न सम्भवति. Probably this is to be taken as an avyaya in this context is what I understand from this. I mean, what is probably he's trying to say in this context is that tiryach word is going to be taken as an avyaya which is similar to the tiryanch word present in the shabda patha is probably the best meaning that one can come up with this. But otherwise, why is this tiryak krutya atra lyabadesha avashyam krutah asti atra प्रायः अव्ययरूपेण एव स्वीक्रियते. So somebody is asking me to refer back to the previous slide. So previous slide was actually easy. Uchchaihi is an avyaya. So when you have an avyaya as the upapada over here, you always get twa getting converted to lyapa. So uchchaihi krutya इत्यत्रापि त्वा प्रत्ययः अस्ति परन्तु समासे तस्य लबादेशः भवति. उच्चैः कृत्वा इत्यत्र समासः एव नास्ति, त्वा च इति समासः विकल्प्यते. So you have for the twa pratyaya you have two cases. If there is a samasa, then in presence of an avyaya upapada the twa will get converted to lyapa. If there is no samasa, twa will remain as it is. So that is uchchaihi krutya versus uchchaihi krutva. The problem comes in the current case because tiryanch, as we saw in the Shabda Patha, is actually not an avyayavachi word. The fact that commentaries give tiryak krutya, they seem to do a lyabadesha over here, is possibly because they are using this tiryak word as a separate avyaya. Let's go to dhatu part. Let's go to dictionary and let me see if they give tiryak as a separate word. Hopefully this will load today. Give me 1 minute. So he clearly says it's Vyaya, and at the same time in Apte Sanskritangala Kosh, it treats it as indeclinable. So it's Avyaya. So I think there are both similar looking words. There is a Tiryancha word which is made from ancha dhatu and runs in all the vibhaktis, and then there is a tiryak which is an avyaya which is used in the same meaning. So this avyaya tiryak is used over here. So here is the resolution as I understand it right now based on our study from the kosha, that we have tiryak as a separate avyaya which is being used over here. It means the same thing, crooked, not straight, unruju, and so on. Because of this tiryak avyaya, we have twa getting converted to lyapa. Therefore, tiryak krutya iti shabdaha bhavati. But this tiryak avyaya is very similar to the tiryancha word, and therefore, in the saptami ekvachanam, what Kashikakara was trying to say is tiryachi, tiraschi iti tatra इकारः सप्तमी एकवचनस्य तिरश्चि इति तत्र रूपं भवेत् इति तत्र काशिकाकारस्य आक्षेपः आसीत्, तस्यापि तेन अत्र समाधानं कृतम्. Now somebody is saying me over here, and I am bound to believe that in Shabda Kalpadruma, Vya is a short form for Avyaya. So this is what somebody says over here. So if the Vya word in Shabda Kalpadruma stands for Avyaya, then I think Tiryak word has to be taken as an Avyaya. The similar looking Tiryak word is in the Shabda Patha, which is a different word, but because he says that they are similar looking words, therefore the saptami ekvachan, because if it is taken as an avyaya, then all this discussion in uh, Kashika becomes completely useless. Because if you look at the Nyasa and other commentaries, they talk about this Tiryachi iti Anukaranam and they say it should be Tiraschi and so on. So I have read all this somewhere over here. Uh, there is a reference of Tiraschi somewhere. Look at this. Tiraschi iti bhavitavyam. So they are actually talking that this should be Tiraschi word. I remember reading Nyasa Padamanjari both before teaching this class. So Tiraschi iti bhavet. Iti tatra kashikakarasya ashayah. Now, if Tiryak is to be taken as a separate avyaya, then all this second argument in Kashika becomes completely nonsense. That if it is an avyaya, what is it to do with the Tiryanch word in the Shabda Patha and so on? So let's assume that Tiryak is being taken as an avyaya so that we can justify Tiryak Krutya as the forms, and then there is a similar looking Tiryancha word whose saptami ekvachanam is Tiraschi, and that is what is being discussed by Kashikakara over here. So I think that sounds like at least a plausible explanation at this point. So thank you very much, somebody who for asking this question, that should it be Tiryak Krutya or Tiryak Krutva. Thank you very much. I could notice, I was not actually aware of this particular difference till, or I had completely forgotten this particular difference till now. Okay, agre gachamaha. We have a few more sutras, 4 more sutras to be covered, and we have to finish them today by any chance. So agrimam sutram, Swange tas pratyeye krubvoho. So at this point we have kru dhatu and bhu dhatu. Both the dhatus are coming together. Swange. Now all of us are expert on what is swangam. We spent some 15-20 minutes in the last class. Adravyam murtiman swangam. Iti prayah sarvaihi smaryate vyakhya. So swange, swangavachi shabda mukham or prushtham iti udaharanam. So swangavachi shabdaha asti. तत्र तस्स इति प्रत्ययः यदि प्रयुज्यते, तस्स is a तद्धित सम्यक प्रत्यय. So in तद्धित प्रकरण, I think somewhere 5454 5455 should be, oh, it's over here. Pratiyoge panchamyastasihi ityanena tas iti pratyah prayujyate. Then immediate next sutra, apadane chahi yaruhoho ityanena apadanasya vishaye api tas pratyah bhavati. So gruhataha, himalayataha, chorataha bibheti. So all these taha taha forms, many times in the introductory classes, instead of teaching panchami, we just say use taha. So that taha is actually a tadhita pratyaya, which is a tasi pratyaya. Somebody saying my screen seems to be frozen, but I think I'm getting a good feedback over here. I think it must be frozen just for one person. I am on Pratiyoge Panchamyastasi Sutram. So Pratiyoge Panchamyastasi iti Sutram Tasmadanantaram Apadane Chahiya Ruhoho iti Sutram Anena Sutrena Tassa iti Tadhita Samyaka Pratyaha Bhinneshu Artheshu Vidhiyate. So I am not teaching Tadhita class, so we will ignore about other meanings, usages of Tassi Pratyaya. But there is one peculiar usage that is given over here in the Vartika. Tassi Prakarane Adyadibhyaha Upasankhyanam. So some words in this particular section, or some tasi pratyanta words, should be or are used in the adhikarana, in the saptami sense, is what this particular vartika says. Saptami and Tritiya. Some examples are in Saptami in this Vartika, some examples are in Tritiya, but for now we will only take the Saptamyartha because that is relevant to our context. So Adau ityeva aditaha, Madhye ityeva madhyataha, पृष्ठे इत्येव पृष्ठतः, मुखे इत्येव मुखतः. So one very common example and very well known example is in mathematics, or like while talking about writing numbers, we say sankhyanam vamatah gatihi. Vamatah means going in the direction of left. So when the numbers grow, the number with the least decimal value is on the right, the number with a little more decimal value is on the left, the number with even more decimal value is to the left of that. So sankhyanam vamatah gatihi. So that is vamatah, which is saptami prayog, going in the direction of left. So in the same way, prushthataha, going in behind, or mukhataha, in face and so on इत्येतैः प्रकारैः अत्र तसि प्रत्ययः प्रयुज्यते तस्य अत्र सन्दर्भः. So only two examples have been given over here. Mukhatah, I mean तसि प्रत्ययस्य केवलम् उदाहरणद्वयं. Mukhatah, again it is an avyaya, तद्धितश्च सर्वविभक्ति इत्यनेन अव्यय संज्ञा. And पृष्ठतः, so mukhatah means facing towards you, पृष्ठतः means facing away. So इत्येतौ शब्दौ यत्र उपपदरूपेण प्रयुज्यते तत्र क्रू धातु तथा भू धातु इत्येतयोः णमुल् इत्येताभ्यां णमुल् तथा क्त्वा एतौ प्रत्ययौ भवतः यथा संख्यं न इष्यते. So it is not like क्रू getting क्त्वा and भू getting णमुल्, it is all four combinations. So tas pratyayah yatah swangat, swanga, it is not dhruva versus adhruva. So any swanga is possible. The examples are about the mukha and the prushtha. So tas pratyayah yatah swangat tadeva muchyate. तस् प्रत्यये स्वांगवाचिनी उपपदे करोतेः भवतेः च धातवोः क्त्वाणमुलौ प्रत्ययो भवतः यथा संख्यं न इष्यते अस्वरितत्वात्. And then he gives various examples. Say mukhatah krutya gatah. So there is some object, he makes that object face towards him like a table or something and then goes. So kru dhatuः अस्ति चेत् तत्र कर्मकारक कर्मपदं भवेत्. भू धातुः अस्ति चेत् अकर्मकः धातु अतः स्वस्य विषये एव तत्र वचनं. सो मुखतो भूत्वा तिष्ठति मीन्स ही हिमसेल्फ टर्न्स फेस इन फ्रंट. मुखतो भूय तिष्ठति और मुखतो भूत्वा तिष्ठति, मुखतो भावं तिष्ठति. whereas मुखतः कृत्य गतः, so the one who is a देवदत्तः गतः, तत्र there is some other object that is being turned and is being faced towards him. So मुखतः कृत्य, table, chair, whatever, paper. So मुखतः कृत्य गतः, मुखतः कृत्वा गतः, मुखतः कारं गतः, facing towards him. मुखतः मुखतो भूय तिष्ठति, मुखतो भूत्वा तिष्ठति, मुखतो भावं तिष्ठति. He himself appears as face in front. Exactly reverse. So पृष्ठतः कृत्य, पृष्ठतः कृत्वा, पृष्ठतः कारं, पृष्ठतो भूय, पृष्ठतो भृत्वा, पृष्ठतो भावम् इति अत्र उदाहरणानि. कौमुदी no explanation, just 6 examples. मुखतः कृत्य, मुखतः कृत्वा, मुखतः कारं, मुखतो भूय, मुखतो भूत्वा, मुखतो भावम्. स्वांगे इति किम, only for anga related, swanga related, adravyam murtiman swangam. So only for anga related, not sarvatah. Sarva is not an anga. So sarvatah krutva gatah, normal पूर्व परन्यायेन तत्र क्त्वा इति प्रत्ययः प्रयुज्यते. तस् ग्रहणं किम, सो तस् इति प्रत्ययः अपि आवश्यकः. if you use any other प्रत्यय, से च्वी प्रत्यय, मुखीकृत्य अमुखम मुखम करोति ततः गच्छति. So something was not facing him, he turns that object and makes it face him. So मुखीकृत्य, तत्र तु अस्य सूत्रस्य प्रयोगः न भवति. नॉर्मल क्त्वा प्रत्यय, तत्र मुखी इत्यपि अव्ययम्, अतः तस्य लबादेशे कृते मुखीकृत्य गतः. से मुखीभूय गतः इति अपि भवति. प्रत्यग्रहणं किं, such a nice dalakrutyam over here. स्वांगे तस् प्रत्यये. सो प्रत्ययग्रहणं किं, तस् इति कश्चन अन्यः धातुः अपि अस्ति. लेट्स सी, वी आर रनिंग आउट ऑफ टाइम, बट लेट्स सी इफ वी कैन क्विकली सी दिस. So there is a tasu upakshaye, to throw, to fly away, bounce. इत्यस्मिन् अर्थे तस् इति धातुः अपि अस्ति. If you add a kvip pratyaya, kvip is sarvapahari pratyaya, so it will go away. Eventually it will be only tasa, and then the sa will become visarga. So that tasa is a dhatu, that is not a pratyaya. So you cannot take examples of that. So mukhe tasyati iti mukhatah. This is a person, for example. Mukhe tasyati. The meaning that is there in, I think, Nyas or one other commentaries is there is some pain in the mouth or something. So mukhe tasyati iti mukhatah. Mukhatah krutvagata, or make sad face, throws away his face, throws away the emotions of his face, and so on. Mukhatah krutvagata. Atrapi yadyapi shabdah tadrsha eva mukhatah, तथापि अत्र भेदः अस्ति. मुखतः इत्यत्र तस् इति तद्धितसंज्ञक प्रत्ययः नास्ति, अत्र तस् इति धातुः, तस्य क्विबन्तम् इदं रूपम्. So this is an example of a krudanta form. It looks like a tadhitanta, but it is a krudanta form. In this case, there is no tas pratyaya, and therefore you don't use this sutram. So very beautiful dalakrutyam. Swange iti kimartham, tas iti kimartham, pratyaye iti kimartham iti त्रिभिः प्रकारैः अत्र दलकृतं प्रदर्शितम् अस्ति. Agre gacchamaha. This is the only sutram, the next one that will take a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes, and then the remaining two sutras are actually very easy. So nadhartha pratyaye chvyarthe iti agrimam sutram. Please pay close attention because there is a lot of confusion even in Kashika in this particular sutram. So nadhartha pratyaye chvyarthe. Let's concentrate on this first word nadhartha. This nadhartha word or nadhartha pratyaya, that is the whole word over here, it talks about a set of 5 pratyayas. All these are tadhita samyaka pratyayas. There is a pratyay called na, there is a pratyay called dha. So both of them are anyway directly there in the sutram. Na, dha and artha. Artha means other pratyayas in the same meaning. So na iti pratyayah, dha iti pratyayah, तथा च तयोः एव अर्थे प्रयुक्ताः अन्याः प्रत्ययाः. के एते अन्याः प्रत्ययाः? नाय इति अन्यः प्रत्ययः अस्ति, धमुय इति अपरः प्रत्ययः अस्ति, एधाच इति तृतीयः प्रत्ययः अस्ति. So all this we get when we learn Tadhita Prakaranam and also from the commentary over here. But these 5 pratyayas are being captured in this word nadhartha pratyayah. So nadhartha pratyaya इत्येते इत्युक्ते एते पंच प्रत्ययाः कथं कथं सिद्ध्यन्ति, कुत्र कुत्र दत्ताः सन्ति, एतत् सर्वम् अत्र लिखितमस्ति. तस्मिन् विषये इदानीं चिन्ता मास्तु. We will not go in the details, but we will only look at the final words that are generated. So those of you are interested, you can take a look at this particular part. Here I demonstrate all the sutras and the necessary prakriya by which these pratyayas are added to certain words. What we need at this stage is the final words that are generated using the nadhartha pratyayas. And what are these words? Just give me 1 minute. So what are these words? These are very simple, very well known, well used words. Vina, without. Nana, the separating out or making multiple things out of one. Ekadha, dvidha, dvedha. So dvidha, dvedha, dvaidham. सर्वेषाम् एकः एव अर्थः. द्वाभ्यां प्रकाराभ्यां नो चेत् द्वौ प्रकारौ इति अर्थः. त्रेधा, त्रैधम, त्रिधा, सेम थिंग. सो प्रकाराः इत्यस्मिन् अर्थे ते सर्वे शब्दाः. चतुर्धा, पंचधा, षड्धा और षोडा बोथ आर एक्सेप्टेबल. सप्तधा, अष्टधा, नवधा एंड सो ऑन. कतिधा, बहुधा इत्येते सर्वे शब्दाः. You can see the words. I mean, they're ending with dha, right? So that's the dha. This dhamui is this dvaidham. Edhach is this dvedha. So these are all the words that are generated by nadhartha pratyayas. Let me try to explain this once again in a minute. Nadhartha pratyaya, this word indicates 5 different pratyayas given by different sutras in Tadhita Prakaranam. All the sutras are written over here. The prakruti for them, the pratyaya for them, the final form, also the prakriya aspects are all written over here, but that is out of scope for current discussion. For now, all that we care is an upapadam which is made from an adhartha pratyaya, and that list is written over here. Vina, nana, ekadha, dvidha and so on. Etaihi upapadaihi, no chat eteshu anyatamam upapadam svikritya yatra प्रत्यय विधानम करणीयम अस्ति तत्र इदम सूत्रम प्रयुज्यते. So now what is the sutram? Nadhartha pratyaye chvyarthe. Chvi pratyasya artha abhut tadbhavah. Ashuklam shuklam sampadyate tam karoti and so on. Everybody knows this. We studied this multiple times. So nadhartha pratyaye, look at this. Nadhartha pratyayaihi siddhaha shabdaha abhut tadbhavarthe upapada rupena prayujyante तत्र क्रू तथा भू धातवोः क्त्वा तथा णमुल प्रत्ययौ भवतः. सो अविना विना करोति ततः गच्छति. So something, see x being without y, that is vina karoti. So earlier x was joined with y, now he makes x without y. Avina vina karoti tatah gacchati. So now if x and y are joined together, then you cannot say x is vina y. So then, so for example, in Vanavasa, Rama and Sita were staying together. So then you cannot use the word avina over there. But when the Sita Haranam happened, अविना विना अभवत् इति तत्र आशयरूपेण वक्तुं शक्यते। रामः सीतां विना अस्ति इति तत्र प्रयोगः अनन्तरं सम्भवति। अतः अविना विना करोति, नो चेत् अविना विना भवति, बोथ क्रू एंड भू धातु, that is a पूर्वकालिक क्रिया, ततः गच्छति, विना कृत्य गच्छति, विना कारं गच्छति इति रूपाणि सिद्ध्यन्ति। Similarly, द्विधा भूय गच्छति, you take this word and you add the corresponding krudanta. What is the krudanta? For bhu dhatu it will be bhuya, which is lyabanta, bhutva, which is twanta, and bhavam, which is namul pratyanta. Similarly, for kru dhatu it will be krutya, which is lyabanta, krutva, which is twanta, which is samas नास्ति, समासः नास्ति चेत् तत्र कृत्वा इति भवति, नो चेत् कारम, that's the namul pratyant. So you take all this, each multiplied by 6 of these, so bhuya, bhutva, bhavam, krutya, krutva, karam, and then you get all possible forms. So that's exactly, all these forms have been patiently listed by Kashikakara. Let me just read this, I think all of you will understand this meaning. Anana nana krutva gataha. Nana is multiple, nana is one. So when you split out something, then from one thing multiple things happen. Meaning is same. See, the reason why vina and nana are considered together is artha is same. When x and y are joined together, you cannot use the word nana because they are not separate. As soon as x and y become separate, you can use the word nana, and then you can also use the word vina because now x is without y and y is without x. So in that sense, x and y are sorry. In that case, nana and vina are actually in the same meaning. That is why artha word used on na actually includes naya. So नाधार्थ इत्यत्र ना इत्यनेन ना तथा नाय द्वयोः भवति, द्वयोः ग्रहणं भवति. The other are actually in the same meaning. So dhamoi, edhash, dha, they are exactly in the same meaning. So there is no question about us explaining that part. So let's read the examples. Anana nana krutva gataha, nana krutya nana krutva nanakaram, vina krutya vina krutva vinakaram, nana bhuya nana bhutva nana bhavam, vina bhuya vina bhutva vina bhavam. Dvidha bhavam, I think this must be typing this or whatever. Dvidha bhavam, dvidha krutya, dvidha krutva, dvidha karam. द्विधा भूय द्विधा भूत्वा द्विधा भावम, द्वैधम कृत्य द्वैधम कृत्वा द्वैधम कारम. In those days when he had to write all this on palm leaves, I really admire the efforts. Unnecessary duplication over here. Dvaidham bhuya dvaidham bhutva dvaidham bhavam, and so on. So basically tries to do whatever permutation combination he remembers he is doing over here. प्रत्यय ग्रहणं किम, प्रत्यये नाधार्थ प्रत्यय इति किमर्थम, अन्यानि अव्ययानि, विना इत्यस्मिन् अर्थे हिरुक् इति अव्ययं प्रयुज्यते, नाना इत्यस्मिन् अर्थे पृथक् इति अव्ययं प्रयुज्यते, तस्य सन्दर्भः अत्र नास्ति. ना तथा धा इत्येतयोः अर्थयोः विद्यमानं प्रत्ययं, विद्यमानः प्रत्ययः एव तत्र स्वीकरणीयः. सो पृथक् कृत्वा हिरुक् कृत्वा इत्यत्र न भवति. च्व्यर्थे इति किम्, यदि तत्र अनाना नाना करोति इति नास्ति, केवलं नाना करोति इति अस्ति, if there is no implied abhuta tadbhava, then this sutram cannot be used. Nana krutva kasthani tatra na bhavati. And then he talks something very weird. He says artha grahanam dhartham. So he says the word artha in this sutra is for dha. It is not for na, because na is just one sutram, vinayabhyam nanayau. So what Kashika is claiming over here is artha grahanam is only for dha because it should bring dha, dhamui and edhach, whereas na reference will automatically bring naya. So artha grahanam is for not for na. Now this actually intrigued me. This is not the correct logic because we have this very nice paribhasha called niranubandhaka grahane tadanubandhakasya na grahanam. So if a word in a sutra stand alone without anubandha represents a pratyaya, the same word cannot be used to represent another pratyaya that has an additional anubandha. So for example, na over here, because it is a valid pratyaya, it will not include naya. So that is exactly the message captured in Nyasa. He says, Vayam tu brumaha, nartham api arthagrahanam kartavyam. Artha word is not only for dha, it is also for na. Tatha hi dvau na pratyayau. Ekaha niranubandhakaha dvitiyaha sanubandhakaha. Tatra asati arthagrahane, arthaha nasti asmin sutre. Tarhi निरनुबन्धकग्रहणे न तद् सानुबन्धकस्य इति नाप्रत्ययस्यैव ग्रहणं स्यात्, सानुबन्धकस्य नायः न ग्रहणं स्यात्, अर्थग्रहणे सति तस्यापि ग्रहणं भवति. Now I have not written this further, but this view is again contradicted in Tattvabodhini. So it's sorry, in Padamanjari. It's worth reading for those who are interested. So Padamanjari says that this argument is incorrect because na and nai are defined in a single sutram, not in two different sutras. So anytime na is being taken, it will automatically bring nai along with it without bringing the Niradubandhaka paribhasha in picture. So again, very interesting Shastra Purva Paksha Uttara Paksha discussion. So the Padamanjari tries to defend what Kashikakara has written by saying that this particular paribhasha does not come in the picture in this context. Those of you interested can definitely look up over there. Let's take a look at Kaumudi. Again, in Kaumudi is the same set of examples being repeated. Nadhartha pratyaya, sorry, Nadhartha pratyante chvartha vishay upapade krubvoho ktvanamulau staha anana nana krutva ityukte nana krutya nana krutva nana karam. So somebody is asking me here that nana karam you can represent as nana space karam, and then it will be without upapada samasa. That is correct. Namul pratyasya vishay upapada samasa vikalpyate. If you have an upapada samasa or if you don't have an upapada samasa, the forms are same, and therefore you don't really bother writing them separately. For for tva pratyaya, there is a lyabadesha that comes in the picture. So you write these forms separately as nana krutya, that is with the samasa, त्वाच इति विकल्पेन समासः, नो चेत् नाना कृत्वा इति समासः न भवति. विना कृत्वा विनाकारं नाना भूय नाना भूत्वा नाना भावम्. So he explains the meaning of nana bhavam. Sorry, he explains the meaning of the next one. Ekadha bhuya anekam dravyam ekam bhutva. Ekadha eka prakarasya, combined together. Ekadha bhuya ekadha bhutva ekadha bhavam ekadha krutya ekadha krutva ekadha karam. Their patience is worth appreciating. Pratyay grahanam kim hiruk krutva pruthak bhutva. Same two words are being told. So somebody is asking, are all these upapadas or also avyayas? Yes. Tadhitascha sarva vibhaktihi इत्यनेन एते सर्वे अव्यय सम्यक शब्दाः एव is written over here. अव्ययानि सिद्ध्यन्ति. So that completes nadhartha pratyaye chvarthe. I know we are running out of time, but I have to finish two more sutras and then we must be on time. Maybe 5 minutes max. That's it. तूष्णीमि भुवः, अग्रिमं सूत्रं बहु सरलं. तूष्णीमि भुवः, तूष्णीं टू कीप क्वाइट. तूष्णीं शब्दे उपपदे भवते भू धातोः, because we have भुवः, crew is now not coming up. Till the previous sutram we had crew and bhu. He has explicitly mentioned bhu. Bhu grahanam kruyah nivrutyartham. So now crew is not coming. तूष्णीं शब्दे उपपदे भवतेः धातोः क्त्वाणमुलौ प्रत्ययो भवतः. तूष्णीं भूय गतः, तूष्णीं भूत्वा गतः, तूष्णीं भावं गतः. तूष्णीं शब्दे उपपदे भुवः क्त्वाणमुलौ स्तः. तूष्णीं भूय गतः, तूष्णीं भूत्वा गतः, तूष्णीं भावं गतः. I don't think there is anything to explain. तूष्णीं भूत्वा, तूष्णीं भूय, तूष्णीं भावं अग्रिमसूत्रं गच्छामः. अन्वच्चानुलोम्ये, अस्य प्रकरणस्य अन्तिमं सूत्रम् अन्वच्चानुलोम्ये. Again very simple sutram. Anvak iti shabde upapade. Again, now this is very similar to that tiriyach thing, so let people learn from the experience. So anvak is now an avyaya over here. Anvak iti shabde upapade. Anvak ityukte to follow. So somebody is going and somebody else is following him. That is a normal meaning. But as I mentioned that time also, tiryak has a specific meaning in that context. Samapanam. अनेनैव प्रकारेण अत्र अन्वक् शब्दस्यापि वाक्ये विशिष्टः अर्थः स्वीक्रियते. अनुमोदनम, or you agree to what somebody is saying, iti api arthah svikriyate. That is the meaning that is being given over here. Anulomye. What is anulomyam? Anulomata, anukulatvam. So you agree to what the person in front of you is saying, or you say something that pleases him, you say something that is in accordance to his thinking. That is called anukulatvam. Parichitta anuvidhanam. So anvak iti shabdaha, in general the word means simply to follow. Like tiryak, it has a different meaning in general, but tiryak karoti ityatra samapayati iti api bhinnaha arthaha asmabhi drushtah. Aneneva prakarena atrapi anvak iti shabdasya mulaha samanyah arthaha tu he follows, anugacchati iti atra arthaha. Same thing, anu plus anch dhatu asti. But here it similar looking avyaya has been taken. But in this context, it is anulomya. It is anukulata. So anvak bhuya aste. He agrees to what the other person is saying and sits down. Anvag bhutva aste. Anvag bhavam aste. Anulomya iti kim. Why the anulomya word is important? If he just follows somebody else, like there is a queue, first person goes and then the second person goes, then it is simply anvag bhutva. There is no agreeing to the previous person, so you don't use this sutram. Therefore no namul pratyaya, normal ktva pratyaya can definitely be used. Anvak bhutva tishtati. So that's all about Kashika. Kaumudim pashyamaha. Anvak shabde upapade bhuvaha tvanamulaustah anukulye gamyamane anvak bhuya aste anvak bhutva aste anvak bhavam aste agratah parshvatah prushtatah va anukulah bhutva aste. So he basically behaves what or is favorable to him from all possible angles. आनुलोम्ये इति किम् अन्वग् भूत्वा तिष्ठति पृष्ठतः भूत्वा इत्यर्थः. So he's just following that. That's why he say पृष्ठतः भूत्वा तिष्ठति. Whereas here अग्रतः पार्श्वतः पृष्ठतः वा अनुकूलः भूत्वा, he sits or he behaves according to what the other person says. So if the other person says go in the front, he will go in the front. If the other person says go in the left, he will go in the left, and so on. So from all the sides he will be anukula, and then he sits down. That is where anvag bhavam can be used. In all other cases, it's just anvag bhutva if the anulomya word is not in the picture or the context is not in the picture. And that's how we reach the magic number 3386. Itham laukika shabdanam ding matramiha darshitam. After teaching 3386 sutras and after writing such a dense commentary where we say Kaumudi yadi adhita vida vritha bhashye parishramaha. So somebody who reads the Kaumudi almost understands the significant gist of bhashya. After teaching all this, he says Itham laukika shabdanam ding matramiha pradarshitam. I have only shown you the direction. Don't be under misconception that you have studied Kaumudi, now you have understood Sanskrit grammar. Not in your capacity. Sanskrit grammar is much beyond this. So vistarastu yatha shastram darshitah Shabda Kaustubhe. So Shabda Kaustubha, another grantha written by Bhattoji Dikshita in the on the Ashtadhyayi Sutras in the Ashtadhyayi order, also as a commentary on Mahabhashya. So this is just a beginning of Vyakarana Shastra is what he's saying. I have only shown you a direction. Itham laukika shabdanam dingmatram ihdarshitam vistarastu yatha shastram darshitaha vistaraha darshita. Somebody is asking even some grammatical questions on this shloka. Shastram anatikramya yatha shastram iti avyayam asti avyayi bhava samasaha. So vistaraha is the detailed elaboration explanation. Vistaraha darshitaha yatha shastram kutra shabda kaustubhe. So from here probably we understand that he has already written shabda kaustubha before he before he writes or before he wrote Kaumudi, because he says itham laukika shabdanam ding matram iha darshitam vistarastu yatha shastram darshita shabda kaustubhe bhattoji dikshita krutihi saisha siddhanta kaumudi प्रीत्यर भूयाद भगवतः Bhavani Vishwanatha Yoho. Vishwanatha and Bhavani, whichever god and goddess are favorite to you, Shiva and Parvati probably. So Vishwanatha Bhavani, Bhavani Vishwanatha Yoho, Prityai Bhuyat. Itham laukika shabdanam ding matramiha darshitam. Don't assume that you know any grammar. Vistarastu yatha shastram darshita shabda kaustubhe bhattoji dikshita kruti saisha siddhanta kaumudi प्रीत्यै भूयात् भगवतः भवानी विश्वनाथयोः इति सिद्धान्त कौमुद्याम् उत्तरकृदन्त प्रकरणम् इति अस्माकं वर्गे धातु सम्बन्धिनः इति 12 करपत्रम् इति अस्माकं वर्गे उत्तरकृदन्ताः. That is where we complete the discussion of all the 12 sheets starting from Krutyaha up to Dhatu Sambandhinaha. There is a first sheet Artha Jnapaka Sutrani. I have taught all the sutras of this sheet in the respective context. So there is no point in studying all these sutras in sequence, but I have taught, like for example, Kartari Kruta, I have taught this, Adi Karmanikta Kartari Cha, तोधिकरणे च द्रव्यगति. All these sutras had been taught in the individual contexts. So that's where we complete the Krudanta Prakaranam today. What I want to do tomorrow is there are some sutras that are not in the Krudanta Prakaranam, but that are very important in usage of Krudantas. So sometimes when the Krudanta Pratyayas are used, sometimes, for example, you see that a Bhuta Kalika Krudanta Pratyaya is used in a Bhavishya Kala sense. A Vartamana Kalika Krut Pratyaya is used in the Bhuta Kala sense. So how is that Kalati Desha possible? How is that you can, bend the rules of the Krudanta Prakaranam and use Pratyaya from one context to a different context? Those are the things that I want to teach in tomorrow's class. And more important, so that actually was only one sutram, Dhatu Sambandhe Pratyayaha. And then more important is how to use these sutras where the Shashti Vibhakti comes, where the Tritiya comes, where the Tritiya comes. There are some 8 sutras. These are usually taught in the Karaka or Vibhakti Prakaranam when people study Siddhanta Kaumudi, but I have collected them in tomorrow's class. We will study that. We will not go in the detailed discussion of the commentaries because it is not directly related to the Krudanta Prakaranam, but I will still present the commentaries and we will look at the major points in those commentaries in tomorrow's class. So in that way, today we have finished the Krudanta Prakaranam per se. Tomorrow there will be discussion on usage of the Krudantas, and that will be class number 140, officially the final class of our course. We will take 1.5 hours to discuss the entire material, and then day after tomorrow on Saturday it will be the actual Samapanam. I will not be teaching anything, maybe just a 5 or 7 minute overview of the learning, not the material, but what we should expect ourselves to know by the end of the course, how we proceed ahead, how we should study ahead, and so on. We will have blessings from Soumyaji. We will hopefully also have Venkat sir from Vyoma Samskriti Pathashala. I just had a communication with him today, so hopefully he will also join and he will also talk something, give some guidance, and so on. And of course the feedback from all the attendees. Everybody who attends this class is most welcome. Just send a message that you would like to speak and I will unmute you at that time. So that is the main program for Saturday. Tomorrow we still have a regular class, very interesting class, don't miss. But before that, the exercise for today, Sankshepena Uttarani Likhata, 5 questions. I don't know what happened to this font today, very weird. Yatha prushtam prayojanam likhata. So swange tas pratyay ityatra tas grahanasya prayojanam, tiryaccha pavarge ityatra apavarge grahanasya prayojanam, and so on. So as usual, the answers will be uploaded along with the homework. You are free to try out the questions and then take a look at the answers. समापयामः श्वः पुनरेकवारम् अस्मिन्नेव समये नियमितरूपेण कक्षा भविष्यति. अष्टाध्यै जगन्माता यस्य चित्तात् समुत्थिता वेदानामुपकाराय तस्मै पाणिनये नमः. शब्दब्रह्म समाराध्य कृतवान् यो विलक्षणं सर्वाश्चर्यमिदं शास्त्रं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः. येन धौता गिरः पुंसां विमलैः शब्दवारिभिः तमश्चाज्ञानजं भिन्नं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः. धन्यवादः.